First and foremost, I like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Ruach double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well, and a sincere salutation to all you Akim and you Aquat that believe in all sincerity. This video is going to be entitled, The Lord Will Have War with Amalek from Generation to Generation. And you can find that line in the book of Exodus 17 and 16. And what prompted me to do this video is the fact that that war is being waged unto this day, okay? And as you may know, you got so-called black men, okay, like Kanye West and Kyrie Irving, that are coming out and saying that they are the true Israelites, okay? And they're receiving a lot of backlash from no other than the small hat, big nose people, okay? And we know who those people are, okay? They're imposters, okay? They're the 1948ers. They're those that have assumed the identity, okay, of the sons, okay, of the Most High. But in reality, they were rejected. They are the descendants of Esau, okay? And they have the power to ultimately, manipulate history, okay? The Lord has given them power, okay, on the left-hand side, okay? The scriptures tell you in the book of Job 9 and 24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? Okay, so the earth is given into their hand, and they can cover the faces, okay, meaning they can paint, the Most High and his son as white. They can paint the disciples, they can paint the prophets, they can paint the angels as white, and manipulate history to make it seem as that the Bible was written by them and that they were holy men, when in all actuality, they are our twin brother Esau, who has been rejected, okay, according to Hebrews 12 and 16, okay? And this is a war that has been going on from the beginning of time, okay? And that's the reason why so-called blacks and whites are warring, because it was meant, okay, to be this way. When you go into the book of Romans 9, it says, and 10, and not only this, but when Rebekah also had conceived by one, even by our forefather Isaac, for the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of the Most High according to election might stand, not of works, but of him that calleth, it was said unto her, the elder shall serve the younger. As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. Okay, so, our forefather, okay, and our foremother, Isaac and Rebekah, conceived, okay, and they had two twin sons, Jacob and Esau, okay, and Esau was the elder, but it was prophetic. It was prophecy that he would serve, okay, his brother Jacob at the end of the world. And Esau has his time to reign, okay, and he can and has basically, manipulated the whole earth into one huge lie, okay, that he's holy and he's righteous, when in reality, you study him, you come to find out that he is the wicked. He's the wicked twin brother, okay, and he is deceptive. He is greedy, manipulative, murderous, among many other things. All right, and I just want to speak about the war that is continuing, okay, to this day. All right, so it's interesting how you can't speak out against the small hat, big nose people, or you get blackballed. Your videos get taken down. You get called, racist and this, that, and the other. When in reality, they're the biggest perpetrators, all right, of separatism. They want to separate. You see, in the times of slavery, they want nothing to do with us, but now, all right, they want everybody to come together and receive that MOTB. So it's interesting, You know how they're very crafty. All right, so I want to read a little bit out of the Wikipedia regarding Imalak, okay, who is the small hat, big nose forefather, if you will, which are Edomites. But let's go ahead and read it. It says, Imalak was a nation described in the Hebrew Bible as a staunch enemy of the Israelites. And it's interesting how to this day, okay, the war that's being raged is between, you know, Imalak and the true Israelites. And a small glimpse of that is, you know, with these celebrities, okay, you know, you could be anything but, you know, an Israelite. You can be anything but the chosen of the Most High Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. All right. And, you know, the Lord's shedding light on this, you know, and you know, that's why we say, you know, if you can't get it, then, you know, we're moving on because, you know, ultimately this is the truth. All right. And they have been rejected. All right. And that was ultimately the purpose of the Most High. You know, the two brothers, Jacob and Esau, hadn't done anything, but, you know, it was according to election, okay, which means it was chosen like that. It was predestined, okay. But Amalek is a staunch enemy of the Israelites, okay, and have not the whites been a staunch enemy of the blacks? Okay, let's you know, let's just keep it real. Nobody wants to ask these questions, you know, but it's true. You know, I mean, has slavery really been done away with? And the answer is no. But it says the name Imalak can refer to the nation's founder, a grandson of Esau, his descendants. All right, the Imalakites, if you will. All right, now let's read this in the etymology, which I found this interesting. In some rabbinical interpretations, Imalak is etymologized as Amlak, a people who lick blood. You know, and there was a Rabbi Finkelstein, Abe Finkelstein, who had came out on a YouTube video who had basically said that they ground up kids, you know, children, and they put them in the McDonald's Happy Meals in the meat, okay, and he went to say that they actually drink the blood of jakes. You see, so, you know, but it says most specialists regard the origin to be unknown. Okay, so it's not really known what it means, but he is a descendant of Esau. He is a grandson. All right, so it says, according to the Bible, Amalek was the son of Eliphaz, himself the son of Esau, ancestor of the Edomites. Okay, and Eliphaz's concubine Timnah. Timnah was a Horite and sister of Lotan. Amalek is described as the chief of Amalek. Okay, so he was basically the you know, the chief of you know, his offspring. All right, the Amalekites, if you will. And we can find this in the book of, let's see, Genesis 36 and 12. We'll start at 10. These are the names of Esau's sons: Eliphaz, the son of Adah, the wife of Esau; Ruel, the son of Bashemath, the wife of Esau. And the sons of Eliphaz were Teman, Omar, Zapho, Gatam, and Kenaz. And Timnah was concubine to Eliphaz's Esau's son, and she bare Eliphaz Imalak. These were the sons of Adah, Esau's wife. Okay, so Esau basically had Eliphaz, and Eliphaz had Imalak. All right, so Imalak is a descendant of Esau. You see, and it says here he was one of the among the chiefs of the sons of Esau. You see. So it goes on to say the Imalakites were considered to be Imalak's descendants through the genealogy of Esau. All right. It says, well, actually, I want to go back to this next line. But we'll jump down here. First century Roman J-ish scholar. And when I say J-ish, I'm talking about this word. All right. I highlighted it. So, first century Roman J-ish scholar historian Flavius Josephus refers to Ahimelech as a bastard, okay, in a derogatory sense. And he is a bastard, because he sold his birthright. All right, Esau sold his birthright. So basically, him and his descendants are rejected. All right, we read that in the book of Hebrews, 12 and 17. 16, lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. Okay. So he sold his birthright for basically some meat.
Strong's G 4415. Protatakia. Protatakia.
The right or advantages of the firstborn son. Okay. And the firstborn son would get the greater of the inheritance. Okay. From the father, and he would also basically carry on the father's legacy. He would carry on his father's teachings, and that was ultimately supplanted by Jacob, our forefather, who was the progenitor of the 12 tribes. So Esau was rejected, and the greater blessing, okay, of ruling in the afterlife was for Jacob, and this was all predestined, okay, from the beginning of time. So we believe this is the reason why they hide from their identity. They hide the fact that they are the small hat, big nose people, the 1948ers. They are assuming a position, okay, because they have power on this earth. They're mad that they've been rejected, okay. They feel as that Jacob did something deceptive, right? Because they're twisted in their mind. They don't think properly. You see, the scriptures say that the heart that is in them is not upright. Okay, in the book of Habakkuk, roughly paraphrasing. So, back in Hebrews 12 and 17, for you know how that afterward, when he would have inherited the blessing, he was rejected, for he found no place of repentance, though he sought it carefully with tears. Okay, so after he sold his birthright, he received a birthright, but it wasn't exactly what he wanted. You see, back then they didn't go back on their words, and it was our forefather Isaac's discernment to basically give him a lesser blessing through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. It was just the way it went, okay? And he was rejected. There was no way for him to repent for selling his birthright. Though he sought it carefully with tears. He tried to earnestly, get a good blessing from his father, but that's not the way it came out to be, because he ultimately despised his blessing. It tells you that in the scriptures. But going back to Wikipedia on Ahimelech, it says, right, so he's a bastard. All right. According to, let's skip this. Let's go straight to the history. It says, as a people, the Amalekites were identified as a recurrent enemy of the Israelites. The role appears in several stories. Okay, in Exodus 17, 18 to 16, Ahimelech makes a war against Israel in the wilderness. Okay, and Joshua, it says Joshua was ordered by Moses to lead Israel in battle, and Moses watches from a hillside. When Moses' hand is raised, Israel prevails, but when it is lowered, Israel falters. So he keeps his hand raised through the entire battle, even having assistants hold him up so that the battle will go to Israel. And those assistants were, let's see, I wrote it down. Let's see. It was, let's see, Aaron and Hur. Okay. And they basically bring Moses a stone because he gets tired, and they start to help Moses support, okay, his hands, okay, which I believe he had a staff in his hands. All right, and when the staff would go down, Israelites would basically lose the battle. But when his hands were raised, they would win. Okay, so it took Hor and Aaron to actually hold Moses' hands up. Okay, even to the going down of the sun. Okay, so ultimately, Joshua defeats Ahimelech as commanded by Moses. You see, and you can find that in the book of Exodus. Let's just go there and get a couple scriptures. This is the book of Exodus. 10, Exodus 17 and 10. So Joshua did as Moses had said to him and fought with Ahimelech. And Moses, Aaron, and Hur went up to the top of the hill. And it came to pass when Moses held up his hand, that Israel prevailed. And when he let down his hand, Amalek prevailed. But Moses' hands were heavy, and they took a stone and put it under him. And he sat thereon. And Aaron and Hur stayed up his hands, the one on the one side and the other on the other side, and his hands were steady until the going down of the sun. And Joshua discomfited, okay, which means he overcame Ahimelech and his people with the edge of the sword. And Yahweh said unto Moses, write this for a memorial in a book, and rehearse it in the ears of Joshua, for I will utterly put out the remembrance of Ahimelech from under heaven. Okay, so the Most High told Moses to write this occurrence, write this in a book. Let's see, let's look at this word memorial.
Strong's H 2146. Zikaron.
Right, a reminder. Yeah, he basically told him, hey, make a note, okay, that we got to take these Amalekites out, Right, NLT. After the victory, Yahweh instructed Moses, write this down on a scroll as a permanent reminder and read it aloud to Joshua. And Moses built an altar and called the name of it Jehovah Nissi, where he said, because Yahweh has sworn that Yahweh will have war with Ahimelech from generation to generation. Okay, so you see that battle being waged today. All right, there's a battle between whites, which are the Edomites, okay, and the chief, okay, of the Amalekites, which they are also Edomites, against the Israelites, which are the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, even unto this day. And you have to have spiritual eyes to see this. But the Most High, he utterly wants to put out the remembrance of Ahimelech, even from the times of Exodus, okay, because they, are very sinister people, the nation of Edom, as well as the Amalekites, which are essentially the same people. The Most High wants to put them out of remembrance, and the Most High, Yahweh, okay, Bashem Yashai has sworn that he will have war with Ahimelech from generation to generation, you see. So, it's meant to be like this. It's meant to have war from generation to generation, but ultimately they're going to be put out from under heaven, the remembrance, okay? It says here for generation.
Strong's H 1755. Door. And the form just below that, door.
I want to get this definition.
Door.
Generation, those living during a period. Okay. Those living during a period. Okay. So those that were living in the time of Exodus. Okay. Israel and Ahimelech. Okay. They had war, but this would ultimately play out from generation to generation, from from forever, essentially. Now, when you go here to generation in the etymology, let's see what it says. I thought I found something here. It says body of individuals born about the same period. It says here on the notion of descendants at the same stage in the line of descent. Wow, so the same spirits are going to be warring, all right? Yeah, you know. And that's basically what I wanted to get, you know. It's not a coincidence that we are warring, all right, against the Amalekites, all right, the Edomites. Okay, to this day, that's the way the Lord has set it up. You see, you know, but he told Moses to, make a note of this, because I'm utterly going to put out the remembrance of these Amalekites. When you go to that word remembrance, just get it real quick.
Strong's H2143. Zecher.
Right, memory.
Zecher.
So their memory is going to be wiped out, and that's why they're hiding their identity, because if it comes out that they are the fugitive and the vagabond, that their forefather is Cain, okay, and they came back as Esau, then this would ultimately make them public enemy number one. So they've been trying to hide this from generation to generation, from the beginning of the world to until now, and the war is being played out, and the same characters are coming back fighting. Okay, everyone was waiting for the manifestations of the sons of the Most High. Is it them or is it us? How we're saying in these latter days through biblical prophecy. Okay, so going back to Wikipedia, it says in Deuteronomy 25:17-19, the Israelites were specifically commanded to blot out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven.